What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Ryan bringing you another video. This one's going to be on my updated Magicka Dragonknight build for the upcoming Stonethorn patch. Now, there are other people in the game that are running this setup. Nesquik being one. He released a build almost identical to this. He got it from a guy from EU. He runs a build like this, so it's a pretty common build setup. It's a very, very solid build, so I'm not going to claim this build as my own just because somebody's created it before me. However, this is what I'm running, and I have a lot of questions like in my streams and everything else on like, hey, what are you running on a Magicka? Wow, that looks really solid. Well, this is what we're running. But before we get into this, I'm going to give a huge shout out to these people right here up on the screen. These guys are the supporters of my channel. They're deities, and they deserve to be treated as such. These guys are the ones that have supported my channel and supported me personally. And I just want to give a huge shout out to you guys. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. You guys are what has made this possible as far as bringing content to you guys. Now, if you want to support the channel as well, I'll go ahead and post the links down in the description on ways that you can support the channel. We have the join option, and we also have the direct, donate option through PayPal. Now, we will be moving over to Twitch soon, just because we have ordered a lot of new equipment. We have spent around $1,700 to try to bring the best possible content to you guys. Now, to be able to move over to Twitch, I had to order a PC, a webcam, a mic, a lot of background, aesthetically pleasing things, just to bring the best possible content to you guys that I can. I will put the link down in the description on all my socials and all the links for, if you guys do feel like you want to support the channel and say you learned something from this video or want to contribute to building the channel with us. Now let's go ahead and hop into the buff stat sheets before we lose continuous and everything. Now this is with a pot, and pretty much with continuous we have 2100 spell damage, 1.1k recovery give or take, 33k mag, 18k stam, 31.5k health, which is really strong. If I'm not mistaken, we have imp in this campaign, so it should be right around 29k health, give or take. We are at 26k resist front bar and 26k, 30k spell resist back bar. We do have 2800 crit resist. That's only because we are running some infusions, 30 pieces. So that being said, let's just go ahead and hop into the gear. I know that's why everybody's here anyway. Like I said before, I'm sure there's somebody somewhere that's made a build like this. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Ness got a build from somebody in EU. But anyway, we are running Overwhelming, Lightning Staff, front bar. Let's go ahead and swap bars. Let's see. We were running Overwhelming. Now, farming this set was a pain for me. I had to farm this set for a long time to be able to get this set and the pieces and the traits that I wanted, mainly because I like transmute gems. I chose the Lightning Staff because everything about this build, basically except for a few small things, is based on AoE damage, and Lightning Staff passives allow you to get extra damage on AoEs. Now, if you guys are not aware with Overwhelming, it's pretty much a sustain and a damage set all in the same kit. And when you're outnumbered, this set sustain is amazing. Like on my stat sheet, I barely have 1k mag recovery, but the more people I fight, the more sustain I have, and it makes you so tanky because it allows you to spam abilities anytime that you pretty much want to. And sustain in outnumbered situations on this build is absolutely phenomenal. Now, we already running charged in this, mainly for that permanent, pretty much 100% uptime and defile because of stat passes and stuff like that, which makes the key root of this build very important. That disease damage is very, very key to this build. Now, for our back bar set, we are running Cyril's Crest. We are running the chest, the legs, the gloves, and the boots. Now, you guys can feel free to speed this up or slow it down if you need to. On the body, we're running 4 pieces, and on the back bar, we're running 1 piece. So we min-max it the best way, so 1 piece back bar for Overwhelming, and 1 piece back bar for crest. That way the 5 pieces active in our back bar. I went powered, and like I said before, you guys can speed this up or slow it down too if you guys want to see the traits and the enchants and everything else. It's pretty basic. Powered, sturdy. We run double dot poisons on the back bar. Now, another key thing for the sustain of this build is Grothdar. Grothdar is huge. I mean, with the charge staff, it pretty much it's almost infinite sustain. If you're getting zerged down by 15 or so many people, just that Grothgar proc alone can literally bring you back to almost full on mag. It's insane how well Grothgar performs when you're, because of the burning passive for DK. Now, like I said, we're running 5 overwhelming at all times and Citadel's Crest on the back bar because we are running Magicka's Band of Brutality. The only reason I run this is because one, I'm in heavy. This is a heavy build. I'm running 6-1, so 6 heavy and 1 light on the body, and this allows me to have extra damage just because I'm in heavy. So my crit's going to be low anyway, my pin's going to be low anyway, so there's not going to be any point in for me to run non-Magicka. The heavy part makes you tanky, which gives you extra sustain, and the Magicka makes up the damage for that. Now, that being said, I am running all infused for reduced cost. If you guys don't have the transmutes or whatever, the like 100 extra that you get for it being infused is not that big of a deal. You can run arcane. Me personally, I just like the extra sustain that comes along with that. The extra damage from arcane wouldn't even be half bad, and same goes with bloodthirsty. So the trait really in and of itself doesn't even matter as far as your jewelry is concerned. Now, I think we are running 1, 2, 3, 4 sturdy. So 3 body pieces sturdy and the shield sturdy, and a lightning staff. The one-handed shield doesn't even matter. It's just whichever way you want to build that. So if you have an overwhelming one hand, you can run an overwhelming back bar and then a piece of crest back bar, 6 crest. It doesn't really matter. I just min-maxed it with the overwhelming shield to have the spell damage on the back bar as well. Let's go ahead and hop into the pots and consumables. Now, we are a vampire with this build. And that being said, we stay at a stage 3 vampire just because you can manage your sustain just fine with this build. So to manage that, to keep from going to stage 4, you have to use this every so often. So you use one of these, and then go back to your food. This is your main food, mainly because you don't need the recovery, so all the extra max stats, whether that be for stam, mag, or health, is really important. Plus, a little bit of health recovery is kind of nice too, even though you're a vampire. That being said, we have tripods. Tripods is just so key with this build, in my personal opinion. Just the extra stam sustain, mainly the stam sustain and the heal that comes with this is very important. I forgot to explain what Crest does. If you guys are not aware, it's pretty much a healing set. So anytime that you block, this is a perma block build, so anytime that you successfully block every 5 seconds, you get a pretty fat heal. Plus it gives max health and a little bit of stamina recovery, and even though you're kind of perma blocking, it allows you to heavy attack if you really need resources. Now, let's just go ahead and hop into the skills. It's a pretty basic setup. Ellie Drain for a little bit of pin and a little bit of sustain. Flame Lash, Burning Talons, Draw Essence, Fossilize, and Leap. The ult in and of itself is a flex spot along with a lot of these abilities. I personally think this bar setup is key as far as your front bar setup. A lot of people run breath back bar. It just depends on how you want to do it. Same goes with talons. If you want to put it back bar, you can, and bring something to the front bar like maybe entropy for your spell damage, and it gives you a little bit of max. I mean, it just depends on how you want to run it. This is just how I choose to run it because I can lock people down and spam this if I'm really getting slammed and I can't bar swap. Because if you were getting zerged down and you hit a bunch of people with this, it'll bring you right to full health, and this locks people down. So it goes hand in hand. That's just the way I like to run it. Now, the ult is a flex spot. You can run meteor, you can run standard, you can run vamp ult if you really wanted to. All of these are really solid. I just like this for the little bit of extra sustain and survivability that comes along with it because of the shield. Now, for the back bar, we are running Cauterize, also a flex spot. If you don't like Cauterize, you can probably run the damage version of this, or maybe Ash Cloud for the healing, or maybe I think it's called Eruption. We are running Elusive Mist where we are vampire. This is our snare removal, and if we say we're getting zerged down and we have really low stam and we don't have a pot up, you can kite around with Mist Form and get a little bit of stam back because of the heavy passes. We are using volatile armor mainly just for the proc that hits a bunch of people that could proc Grothgar or overwhelming. Dragon's Blood, really don't have a better option as far as the heal is concerned, and Degeneration, which is also a flex spot. Like I said, you could run Engulfing here, or maybe even Cinderstorm for the heal. Just AoE heal. I mean, there's really not that many options. You can run Fragmented Shield for the buff, which will also help with your Citadel's Crest heal. So say if you slot this and you hit it, and then block, and you have your proc for Cyril's Crest, it will also change the amount that you heal because it gives you major mending. So it was 8.4k before, and now it's 11.2k. So it just depends on how you want to run it. Let's just go ahead and hop into the CP. CP is also negotiable. This is just what I prefer to run. This is how it works for me. You can speed this up or slow it down if you need to. 1 Siphoner for the debuff, 56 into Warlord, 49 into Tenacity, where it is such a low mag recovery and stam recovery and health recovery build. I feel like it's a waste to put any in here, so I put majority of my points into block cost reduction, which is Shadow Ward. We are running 51 into Tumbling and 31 into Befoul because of the disease glyph, where we have almost 100% uptime with it. We run 43 in Blessed, 32 into Elemental Expert, and 48 into Spell Erosion. Now where we are using Malakath, we don't put any into Elfborn because you're not doing any extra crit damage anyway, and majority of your damage comes from direct damage attacks, so I put more into Master at Arms and Thaumaturge to get 75 into this tree to get the Explorer passive, because with Mag Decay, Talons, and Fossilize, when you whip somebody that is off balance, it will give you an extra 10% damage on everything. So anytime that they're off balance, and you can get it very, very, very high uptime with that. Now as far as my red tree, I run 81 into Ironclad, 34 into Resistant to make up for some of the loss that we gave up for running some Sturdy and an Infused piece. Now for our middle tree, we run 43, 43, and 20 for Thick-Skinned, Hardy, and Elemental Defender. This is just a balanced setup. Sometimes you run into more Stam builds, sometimes you run into more Mag builds, it doesn't really matter. Now for our final red tree, we run 49 into Quick Recovery. Now that pretty much settles the CP and the gear. Let's go ahead and go into our Mundus. I do use the Atronach. I feel like the 230 mag recovery does help in overall Xing situations. Another trade out for this would be the Mage. The Mage is another solid spot. It will buff your heals and your damage both, or you can just run spell damage to have a little bit extra damage. It's personally your preference. We are running 64 into Magicka. Now as far as our race, we are a Dark Elf. If you guys are not familiar with Dark Elf, I just choose Dark Elf because it allows me to be a Stam DK and a Mag DK, whichever I want to do. All I got to do is just respect myself and change my gear, and I can just be either. Breton is a very solid choice. Dark Elf is a solid choice. High Elf is an okay choice. All these are solid choices for Mag DK. I just personally prefer Dark Elf. You get max mag, max stam, flame resistance, and weapon and spell damage. But again, the main reason that I'm a Dark Elf is so I can be either or, Mag Decay or Stam Decay. It's all personal preference. Now, we do use Undo back bar. It's just for it being slotted. Again, also a flex spot. I mean, you could put Standard back here or Swarm. Just personal choice. I just like the damage reduction and the shield that it gives you. I think it can be a make or break situation. As far as the passives, I mean, you kind of want to go with all of your passives just to min-max everything. So that being said, that would be our Ardent Flame passes, and this is the passives that that give you majority of your sustain. So when you, let's see if we can find it here. This one right here. So when you apply burning to an enemy, you restore 500 magicka. There is no cooldown to this. So anytime that you proc a burning status effect on anybody, whether that be from Grothdar or any of your flame damage abilities, you get amazing sustain. Amazing sustain. It's so much magicka that you get returned, plus the heavy armor passive and Ellie Drain and the damage done from Overwhelming Surge. This build has infinite sustain, and that's one of the main reasons that I run double dot poisons on the back bars, because it can proc poisoned, which gives you stand back in return. Like I said, pretty much all your passes, where we are a heavy build, you want all your heavy passes and the first 3 into your light passes. You do not need medium because you do not run medium. I mean, either way, you could run a 5-1-1 build if you like a little bit more max stats. It's just, for me personally, I like the better sustain from heavy and the better tankiness from running 6-1. Like I said, we are vamp. All the other passes like Sigic and Undaunted, Assault Support, it's all about min-maxing. So, now, I think that covers everything about the build. If we covered the stat sheet, the gear, race, Mundus, pots, consumables, champion points. I really hope you guys enjoyed the build. I hope you guys try this build out because it is insane open world, and for soloing it's about the only way that you can build Magicka and it be successful currently. And I hate to say that, but it's true. Magicka is in a very rough spot, and I hope this build helps you guys with your Magicka struggles. Now that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I love you fellas. I appreciate all the support that we've received here recently. We will be moving over to Twitch here soon, and we're going to try to branch out into Twitch, so we'll still be uploading content to YouTube like our build videos and stuff. But as far as our streams, we normally stream on YouTube every night at 10 p.m. EST. We will be streaming on Twitch instead as soon as our new stuff comes in, like the PC and the streaming equipment, etc, etc. Anyway, I appreciate you fellas. Don't forget to comment down there in that comment section what you guys thought about the video. You know, like, comment, subscribe, the whole YouTube spiel. I can't stress enough how important it is that supports the channel. All the links that I mentioned at the beginning of the video will be in the description, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Deuces, fellas.